Welcome to Real Stories and Confessions. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you a story about bragging about natural birth. Let's dive into it. The author says, I don't care if you personally opted for an all-natural unmedicated birth, and I also don't care if you are personally proud of yourself for making that decision. What I didn't know was a thing until recently, and I do not care about, is trying to put yourself above other women, acting like other women are lesser than you for having an epidural or a C-section or whatever else they needed to deliver their babies. A girl I went to high school with just had a baby. I didn't know her very well, but congratulations to her and her family. However, I found it very weird that her long paragraphs on Facebook was barely talking about the baby or bringing a new life into the world or her happiness or the future. It was almost entirely dedicated to her all-natural birth. It was just a seemingly endless rant about the evils of modern medicine, how she would never take the easy way out, how God made her in order to endure this pain, how she couldn't imagine feeling like a real mother if she got any type of pain relief, etc. I don't know, it just really rubbed me off the wrong way. Especially the stuff related to the last sentiment about feeling like a real mother. All her family and friends in the comment section were praising her and saying they knew she wasn't a cheater. It was really weird. I know she's religious, so maybe this is a thing I just wasn't aware of, but the tone felt way more condescending and self-righteous than celebratory. That's the weirdest baby announcement I think I've ever seen. Seriously, maybe 5% of it was about the actual baby, and the rest was about this. Just to be clear, good for you if you had an unmedicated birth. Good for you if you felt that it was the most empowering thing you've ever experienced. Good for you. You can feel empowered however you gave birth. I just don't want women to feel like they're more or less than other people. I don't care. As long as you had a healthy baby, whatever way, you should not care if people don't take your lack of pain management as the same badge of honor that you do. You shouldn't be telling other women that they are less of a mother or will never know something about motherhood if they needed or wanted medical intervention. All of you created life in your bodies. Your bodies all were altered and suffered before, during, and after birth. Whether or not you had pain in the moment, whether or not you gave birth in a hospital bed, or all in the side of the road, it doesn't matter. What matters is that all of you gave birth and are now mothers. Someone in the comment section said, well, if God did all of that, he also made the folks who made modern medicine. So I'ma have the baby the way God intended, which is numb from the waist down. Another one says, when I had my first 2 children, my plan was to go 100% unmedicated. This was an unshakable stance I took with kid 1. Although my doctor, and this was in the 80s, insisted he gave his patients at the very least a little shot of something to take the edge off. By transition, I needed that edge off. Oh, I did. The Demerol or Dilaudid or whatever shot was, it was welcomed. When I had my second child, about 70% firm no medication. Long story short, he was a breech. I thought, oh, thankfully I'll get a C-section now. No, I was told that I could deliver vaginally. I did so, and I gladly took the dilaudid shot during transition. When I had my third child, this was 11 years after my second child, as soon as I found out I was pregnant, I planned for how awesome that dilaudid shot would feel. I ended up needing an extra half dose because that was an induced Pitocin labor where the water breaks, but I did not have any contractions. Now I kick myself for never having opted for the epidural. A lot of the myths I'd convinced myself of turned out to be overblown. I would have done fine with having opted for this, and it could have been a much more relaxing, pleasant experience. My advice: take all the drugs offered in order to get through it. Also, no one ever knows how things will go until they are in it. Preach, sister, preach. Someone replied and said, I said that too before my first child. Then I had a prolonged latent phase and got so exhausted the nurses were like, honey, please get the epidural. Surprise! Here comes baby after 2 weeks of non-stop contractions. This was in 1992, similar era to you. The rest of my 4 children, I got stuck at 4 centimeters for literally hours until finally, whoosh, here's a baby. By the 4th, I told the midwife that I would get stuck, but hang in there. And when I said, okay, time for the epidural, get down there with the catcher's mitt because it's showtime. I swear these birth stories are so funny. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I will catch up with you in the next upload. Bye.